There is a legend, passed down through generations. A legend of a creature capable of surpassing even gods. Its name is Wooloo. It is said that only the greatest of trainers can unlock its true power. This is the story of one such trainer. I tried to beat Pokemon Sword with only a Wooloo, and this is how it went. Before we begin, let's go over the rules. Rule 1, I'm only allowed to use a single Wooloo in battle. Rule 2, no using items in battle, held items are fine. And finally, Rule 3, no Dynamaxing. This last rule isn't necessary, but I decided to add it because I thought the challenge would be too easy without it. I may have to break Rule 3 later depending on how hard the fights are, but I'll do my best to avoid that. First I have to play through the game until I can catch a Wooloo. Then I spent 110 hours hunting for a shiny Wooloo because I wanted to put it in the thumbnail. I named her Pom Pom, because she looks like a pom-pom. Next, I needed to EV train Pom Pom since it would be a pain to do later. I decided to go for maximum defense and special defense, since I suspect we'll have to win most fights by stalling. So, I killed 252 Wooloos and 252 Nickets for their EVs. This means that Pom Pom will be overleveled for a bit, but it doesn't last long. I went on and beat Hop, got my endorsement, grabbed the TM for payback, and went through the wild area to get to Motostoke. While in the wild area, I grabbed the leftovers, since I'll need a way to restore HP, and I won't be able to get the TM for rest until after the 4th gym. Then I found my way to Motostoke and changed my appearance so that I look more like a Wooloo, because in order to win this challenge, I must become one with Pom Pom. I got myself registered for the gym challenge and picked 831 for my number, since that's Wooloo's national Pokédex number. I fought some Team Yell grunts and proved once again that my Wooloo is stronger than Hop's. Then I had to watch the totally not evil Chairman Rose introduce all of the gym leaders. After that was over, I tried to head to Route 3, but Hop didn't understand the lesson I taught him 10 minutes ago, so I had to prove that I'm a better trainer than him for the 3rd time. On my way through Route 4, I met Milo's Wooloo and we became best friends. Oh yeah, and I guess I also met Milo too. At this point I had enough money for a better outfit, so I took my next step towards total Woolooification. Then Pom Pom and I went back to Turf Field, and talked to Sonic about a weird pattern on the side of the hill. We entered the gym, beat the puzzle easily due to our experience with Wooloos, and made our way to Milo's sanctum to challenge him. By this point we were already pretty underleveled, so we had to do some light grinding before we could beat Milo. But once we did, we claimed our first badge and moved on to Route 5. Then we went east, beat some Team Yell grunts, got the bike, went back to the wild area to get the TM for Thunder Wave, then went to Hullberry. On the way we were stopped by Hop, who once again needed to be put in his place. After this brief distraction, we made our way to Hullberry where Pom Pom and I went to the gym and easily completed the puzzle. But the fight with Nessa would prove to be much harder than the puzzle leading up to it. After fighting Nessa a couple of times and losing, it was clear that we either needed to grind or get really lucky in order to beat her. So we grinded by fighting Ghastlies in the wild area until Pom Pom was level 35, at which point we were able to take care of Nessa's team and earn our 2nd badge. Then we had a seafood lunch with Mr. Not the Bad Guy, got a useless TM, and went on to Galar Mine number 2. We lost a battle with Bede because of his Solosis endeavor, but with a 2nd try and a high roll on payback, we managed to defeat Solosis before it could use endeavor, and after that the rest of the fight was a piece of cake. With Bede defeated, we went further into the mine, where we met 2 Team Yell grunts that Hop tried to help us with. Once Hop was defeated, we could finally take on the Team Yell grunts we were supposed to be fighting this whole time. We failed the battle once due to the opponent getting a critical hit, but with a 2nd try we managed to secure our victory. During the battle, we reached level 36 and learned Cotton Guard, a move that can raise Pom Pom's defense 3 stages, which will be very helpful throughout the rest of this challenge. We went through the mine, met Cabu, then went back to Motostoke where we had to fight Marnie, who we easily beat. After that, we entered the stadium, and took on the gym challenge. Since this challenge was all about winning battles, Pom Pom and I were easily able to get 5 points and move on to fight Cabu. We almost certainly couldn't win at this level, but we had to try anyway. As I suspected, we lost. After some grinding, Pom Pom reached level 40 and learned Double Edge, a move that we planned to use to sweep Cabu's team. But Cabu's Ninetales outsped us and used Will-O-Wisp, and we couldn't handle the halved attack. So, we had to grind until we could outspeed Cabu's Ninetales. Once we reached level 47, we could outspeed the Ninetales, but Arcanine still managed to outspeed us and get off a Will-O-Wisp. We still managed to kill it, but we still ended up going down to his Gigantamax Centiskorch. We grinded a little more to reach level 55. At this point we can outspeed and one-shot Cabu's Arcanine with Double Edge as long as we get a high roll. After a couple more tries, we still couldn't win due to his Centiskorch, so we did a bit more grinding. Once Pom Pom reached level 64, we tried one last time and got our third batch. Then we watched Hop get his dreams crushed and abandoned him, so we could head on over to Stow-on-Side, where we put Hop in his place once again. Then we went to the gym. After an easy fight, we nabbed our fourth batch. At first I thought it would be a difficult fight because Pom Pom is a normal type, which makes her weak to fighting type moves, but her high defense kept that from being a problem. After the gym we had to fight Bede, since he was in the middle of committing a felony, but it was just as easy as the other Bede fights. Sonic magically became an art historian, but we ignored that and went to Balonlee. While we were here, we grabbed the TM for rest and the Eviolite, which will both be useful to have later. Then we went to the gym for the easiest gym battle so far. At first it seemed like it would be hard, since most fairy types use special moves, but we got so many stat boosts from answering trivia questions that it didn't even matter. After we grabbed our fifth batch, we witnessed a kidnapping, completely ignored it, and walked towards the next route. Unfortunately Hop stopped us along the way for a battle. We put Hop in his place again and continued to the next route. Once we reached CIRC Hester, we went directly to the gym. After the most annoying puzzle in the Galar region, we reached the gym leader, Gordy. We easily won the battle by spamming double kick and earned our sixth batch. To celebrate our win, we went to the greatest restaurant ever, but sadly we didn't get to eat anything. After that disappointment we fought Hop, and ended up losing 3 times because of unlucky critical hits. After some light grinding, Pom Pom reached level 75 and we put Hop in his place again. Then we went to Route 9 where we defeated some Team Yell grunts in exchange for a bike upgrade. After that we went south and defeated Marnie so that we could enter Spikemuth. Once we were in Spikemuth, we needed a second Pokemon to be allowed to challenge the gym, so I grabbed a random Wooloo from the PC. Once we reached the double battle, Pom Pom betrayed her teammate to protect the integrity of the challenge. The rest of the battle was easy because they barely dealt any damage. After that was over, we went on to the battle with Best Boy Piers. After a long and tough battle that was completely devoid of Dynamaxing, we earned our 7th batch. We had to struggle near the end of that battle though, so there's no way we'll be able to beat Rayhan with anything less than level 100. So, we did one final mega grinding session. But we weren't ready just yet. Rayhan was going to be lowering our attack a lot throughout the fight with his Flygon's favorite move, Breaking Swipe, so first we needed to head to Motostoke to buy the TM for round. Now that Pom Pom had reached her full potential, it was time to take on Rayhan's gym. Rayhan's gym is all about double battles, so we dealt with it the same way we did in Spikemuth. Once we got to Rayhan, we slowly chipped away at his Pokemon using round until eventually they all went down and we earned our final batch. Now that we had all 8 badges we could continue our journey by heading to Winden for the semifinals. Our first opponent was Marnie, who won once due to bad confusion luck, but with a second try we took care of her easily. Next up was Hop, who was just as weak as usual, so we easily put him in his place. And then we dissed him on live television. Then we broke into the world's most secure facility because the champion, who's famously bad with directions, was running a bit late to dinner. Also Piers sang a song and it was great. At the top of Rose Tower we had to fight Olina, whose name I still have no idea how to pronounce. We lost once to her Salazzle, since we had low health going into that part of the fight, but we tried again for an easy victory. The very nice and good chairman shared his totally not evil plan, Then we went back to the stadium for the finals, which Bede rudely interrupted in a futile attempt to regain his honor. His Hatterene beat us many times, but we kept trying and with some luck we finally beat Bede. Next up was Nessa, who wasn't a threat at all thanks to Cotton Guard. Then we fought BEA. BEA was pretty much the same as the first time we fought her since she still doesn't use special attacks. We lost once due to an unlucky crit, but on the second try we easily defeated her. The final battle before Leon was against Ray Han, who was laughably easy to beat when not in a double battle. However, I had a smooth brain moment and forgot to record this part, so here's my recreation of what happened. If you want to see some actual footage of a Wooloo beating Ray Han, check out my friend ProSymbopteryx's video where he did this challenge, but in Pokemon Shield, link in the description. Alright, that's enough cross-promotion, let's get back to Pom Pom and my journey. We went to fight Leon, but were interrupted because it turned out that Mr. I Have Only Pure Intentions was actually a bad guy. So we had to go to the Forbidden Forest to get help from some dogs. But the dogs wouldn't help us, so we robbed them and left. Then we had to save Mr. I Am Not Evil from his own bad decisions, but he didn't want to be saved, so we had to beat him in a Pokemon battle first. Since he only uses steel types, we just spammed double kick for an easy win. Then we went upstairs to fight Eternatus, who we defeated easily with double edge and headbutt, but then it got really big and turned into a hand. So we had to ask the dogs we robbed earlier for help with what's basically just a glorified cutscene. For some reason they decided to help, and together we managed to defeat Master Hand. I caught it in a nest ball, then immediately boxed it, because it's weaker than a Wooloo, so there's no point using it. Then we went to the stadium to fight Leon. On the first attempt we got lucky and made it all the way to Charizard, but we still got defeated by a G-Max Wildfire. We tried a few more times, but still lost. It was time to try a new strategy. We learned Agility and Electro Ball. Agility raises our speed, and Electro Ball deals more damage the faster we are. There is one problem with this strategy though, his Seismitoad is immune to Electro Ball, and it can poison us. So we had to keep trying until we got an attempt where Seismitoad didn't poison us. Eventually we got one such run. But as soon as we got to Dragapult, it proved to us that this strategy wouldn't work. We thought long and hard, but we saw no path that would lead to victory, at least not without Dynamaxing Pom Pom. We had fought so much to maintain the purity of both ourselves and this challenge, and yet it seemed that the only way to win was to acknowledge the darkness within our hearts and Dynamax. No, we weren't ready to stoop to Leon's level. In order to beat him, I had to truly become one with Pom Pom. We played with the feather on a stick, and made an ungodly amount of curry. Finally, we had truly become one. But it wasn't enough. I still saw no way for us to win without insane luck or Dynamaxing. In the end we chose Dynamaxing. We had broken the sacred rule number 3. But, that's still with only a Wooloo and without items. So what's the post-game like? Let's find out. Even though we've already broken Rule 3 by Dynamaxing, I'd like to avoid any more Dynamaxing if possible, which should be easy since nobody in the post-game has as many special fire-type attacks as Leon. At this point, we unlocked the Battle Tower and I could max out Pom Pom's IVs with bottle caps, but I didn't have any, and I was too lazy to get them, so instead we just went to the Slumbering Wheel to beat up Hop in what is quite possibly the most boring battle of the run. Likely in an attempt to balance out the previous battle, which was actually interesting. He was once again quickly put in his place. Sonic gave us a copy of her book, and some guys with weird haircuts attacked us. I ended up losing once because I forgot to heal Pom Pom before the fight, but with a second try we were able to serve Sword Ward a slice of loser pie. Then we served the leftovers to 3 rampaging Dynamax Pokemon and went to the windmill lab to fight Sword Ward and Shieldbird again. Then we found out there were even more rampaging Dynamax Pokemon, but we defeated them easily. Also, Bede wanted to fight, but he's a loser so we beat him easily as well. Then we went to the ruins of Chairman Rose's not evil lair to fight Sword Ward. After that, we went to the roof to fight the Shield Dog. Then we caught the Sword Dog and put her in the PC forever. Yes, she is a she. Read your Pokédex entries. Then Hop thought his armored dog was stronger than my armored sheep. So, we proved him wrong, put him in his place, and finished the post-game. But what about the Isle of Armor DLC? Can you beat that with one Wooloo, no items, and no Dynamaxing? Let's find out, but first, we used bottle caps to max out Pom-Pom's IVs, since I finally decided not to be lazy. In order to get to the Isle of Armor, we had to catch a Galarian Slowpoke. However, since this is a Wooloo-only challenge, it went directly to Box 1. First we got on a train. Then we got off the train and got on a taxi. Then we got off the taxi, and onto the Isle of Armor. We fought a pink-haired girl, found an Alolan Diglett, and joined a dojo by accident. Then we defeated the dojo master, so I think that means I own the dojo now. The former dojo owner asked us to hunt down some fast Slowpoke, so we did that. While doing that, I found a shiny bike to go with my shiny Wooloo. We did such a good job defeating those level 60 Slowpoke that the former dojo owner gave me a level 5 Squirtle as a reward. Next, the former dojo owner asked us to get him some mushrooms so that he can get high or something. I don't know, we weren't really paying attention. The pink girl tried to kill us and steal our mushrooms, but Pom-Pom broke every bone in that worthless pile of flesh she calls a body. Then we went back to the dojo and did drugs as a group. After they wore off, we went to the arena in the back of the dojo for the final trial, a battle against the pink girl. Technically, she was cheating by setting up toxic spikes before the battle, but it didn't actually help her, so I don't care. We lost to her once due to bad luck, and a second time due to bad strategy, but then we switched to using the Electro Ball strategy, and Pom-Pom managed to get a slice of victory cake. As a reward, we got a weird teddy bear from the former dojo owner that was immediately put in the PC. After hanging out with it for a while, the former dojo master tells me I have to take it on a trial. There's no way we're doing that, so we just put it in Hop's place. Pom-Pom easily beat up the losers in this trial and we went back to the dojo where Hop was waiting. Then the former dojo owner asked us to gather some food for a Pokemon that I don't have. We thought he was crazy, but we still did it, since he did give us his dojo. We had to fight a Dynamax Vespiquen for some honey, and this battle came down entirely to luck, since Max Raid Pokemon like to cheat. It would technically be possible without Dynamaxing, but I'd like to be done with this challenge before I'm 30. While we were exploring, Pom-Pom and I found a random shiny Drapion, who I immediately used a Master Ball on, but since this is a Wooloo solo run, I had to put him in the PC after catching him. Then the former dojo owner requested a battle to reclaim both the dojo and his honor. However, he went home with neither, thanks to Pom-Pom's power, and a decent amount of luck. And that's a wrap for the Isle of Armor. But what about the Crown Tundra? Will it be possible with these rules, or will we be cursed with a Dynamax once again? Let's find out. Upon arrival, we are given the Crown Tundra's Pokédex, then we completely ignore it. We are forced to fight Not the Chairman in order to resolve a dispute he's having with his daughter. I forgot to relearn Double Kick, so we have to stall, but it's still overall an easy fight. But while we were fighting Not the Chairman, his daughter ran away. Then we found a village along with some footprints and Professor Sonic. After some more exploring without finding any more cool stuff, we decided to finally meet up with Not the Chairman to help him find his daughter. The scientists won't let him in without adult supervision, so we have to accompany him, and never mind, he's run off on his own. Well, now we have to go save him. Since we can't use a Wooloo here, I'm just going to skip over this part. You aren't missing much, all I did was catch Suicune. But anyway, once we got back we discovered that Not the Chairman is dead. Then his reanimated corpse invited us to join him on an adventure. And by adventure, I mean we're going out and doing all the work, while he stays inside where it's warm and he won't rot any more than he already has. Then we ran into Jimmy Neutron's Fursona. Fortunately, he's very weak and we beat him easily. But then he asks us to help him regain his former power. And I guess we have to help since he lost, and that's totally how battles work. The first thing we have to do is take a survey. Turns out the town is full of atheists and no one believes in dear Jesus anymore. After some research, we learn that we have to grow magic carrots so that dear Jesus' horse will come home and hopefully help him regain his power. We plant the seeds deep in the ice because they'll totally grow there. Suddenly, a really weird Rapidash attacks the village, but it's really weak, so we beat it with no problem. But before we can truly save the village, we have to make the red chain, the Reins of Unity. Fortunately, it's only a cutscene away. Now that we have the Reins of Unity, it's time to get dear Jesus' pony back. Once he has his pony, we must defeat them at their full strength to prove our worth. Fortunately, we just have to stall until all their attacks run out of PP. We lost once due to an unlucky crit, but we managed to make it through to the end on the second try. We can't actually progress without catching them though, so we do that, then immediately box them forever. Next up is the Regi quest. We decided to fight Regis Teal first. It's a fairly easy fight, all we had to do was spam double kick. Just like with Dear Jesus and all the other legendaries in the Crown Tundra, we can't progress until we catch Regis Teal, so we catch it, box it, and move on. The exact same strategy also works for both Regis and Regirock. Next we have a choice between Regilaki and Regidrago. I chose to fight Regilaki. This fight is way easier than the other Regis since we can just use Headbutt twice to kill Regilaki. With that done, we can move on to the final adventure of the Crown Tundra, beating the Galarian legendary birds. First up is Zapdos, who we kill by spamming Headbutt. Then there's Moltres, who we kill with Paralysis and spamming Headbutt. And finally, there's Articuno, who we kill the exact same way as Moltres. At this point, we've technically beaten the game, but there's still a post-game fight with Peony for us to do. It's not hard, we just spammed double kick until we got to Bronze Zone, then stalled until it was out of PP. And with that, we've beaten the entire game using a single Wooloo. So, how did we do? Well, we had to Dynamax twice, so we broke Rule 3, but to answer the question from this video's title, yes, it is possible to beat the entirety of Pokemon Sword using only one Wooloo. We just had to Dynamax twice. Thanks for watching, bye. Or something like that.